Hi, this is Pratik Chogli. I'm here at the Law School Admissions Council event in Boston. And I want to do a video today on how to get the most out of info sessions. So as you begin the process of applying to law school, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to go to different events that are branded as information sessions. And those could take the form of conferences like the one I'm at. Often at your undergraduate school, different admissions reps will come there and sort of be there to talk about the school and answer questions. If you're in the market for a law school admissions advisor, a lot of them will obviously sort of have events or webinars or whatever where you can get information and attend these things. And what I would say at the outset is when you have an opportunity to attend these things, I would certainly recommend going. And it's not necessarily because the information you're going to get is going to be new or novel. I mean, in fact, to the contrary, the vast majority of things are going to be not new to you and things that are, frankly, not all that valuable. But at the same time, there is a lot of value in going to these. And I think the value is, there's a word that I learned when I was, from my foreign policy work. It's a German word, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. But what it roughly translates to is a fingertip feel. And I think what this sort of captures is that, you're an expert on something. You know how to master a situation when you have a fingertip feel or just an overall intuition that can't really be quantified or identified. And the more of these events that you go to, the more that you'll have a fingertip feel of what law school admissions are like, and that's going to really just have a positive effect on you and make you a more competitive applicant. The other thing, though, and this is something that I've noticed, is that when these people, who host these sessions, they're making themselves available to answer questions, and I'm always astonished. I would say the vast majority of questions that attendees ask at these events, just to be totally blunt, are not very good questions, and they're not good questions because they're things that are easily out there on Google or in the public sphere. Often they're things that you could learn after spending about 5 minutes on Google. It's sort of unfortunate that this is happening because it reflects poorly on you as an applicant, especially if the person you're asking the question to is going to be reading your application. And then it also just sort of deprives you and others in the room from actually getting a question answered that may not necessarily be available easily somewhere else. So one thing I would recommend is that before you attend one of these sessions, really think about who's going to be presenting, think about what you already know about the subject, think about the things that you could learn on your own. And then, if you really, at that point, have a question that just you don't know how to get answered, and that person is uniquely equipped to answer, those are the kinds of questions that are really worth posing. And that exercise will be helpful to you not only because you'll get a worthwhile question answered, but just the process of being self-sufficient and independent and curious and being a good researcher is just going to be a valuable sort of muscle to build up as you're becoming a law school applicant. I guess the final tip I would say is go into these things open-minded. I mean, I went to just countless of these info sessions when I was an applicant, and now that I'm an admissions consultant, I've also been attending these. And sometimes I maybe will have a tendency to get a little bit complacent or arrogant and think, oh, I've already heard this, I already know everything. But the truth of the matter actually is that I'm hard-pressed to think of any event I've gone to where I haven't learned at least one new thing, or just sort of heard the same point stated in a different way that provokes a different thought process. So there is a lot to be learned, and I would definitely recommend going to these, making an effort, presenting yourself well, and really thinking about questions that you want to ask. think about intelligent questions, think about things you really want to know and that you can't find elsewhere.